The Holy Tales.
But today's story is a really sad one.
Why? But you never tell us sad stories.
I know, but today's story is about Jesus' death. And I know how much children love him.
Oh, Jesus can't. I'm quite sure Jesus can't die, Holy. Tell us the story.
Well, children, Jesus was arrested. The priests wanted him to die. So they made the people go against him. The Roman governor, Pilate, knew that Jesus was innocent. But he could not do anything to save Jesus. So Jesus was taken to a place called Skull Hill, also called Golgotha, outside Jerusalem, where he would be crucified and put to death. 2 other thieves were also being put to death along with Jesus. Jesus was put on a cross by the guards and then set upright on the ground. Many of his followers and disciples had gathered to see him for the last time. Among the people were Jesus' mother, Mary, and one of his closest disciples, John. Before he died, Jesus prayed to the Lord,
"Father, please forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing."
Then he looked at John and said,
"John, Mary will be your mother.
He looked at Mary and said,
Mother, John will now be your son."
The priests were getting very impatient. The guards then made sure that the 2 thieves were dead. By the time they reached Jesus, he was already dead. They pierced him to check if he was dead or not. John took Mary to his house and took care of her from that moment onwards. Now, who will answer my question today?
Jesus can't die. He is the Son of God.
Hang in there, Freckles. Keep the faith.
The Holy Tales.
Well, there is hope in this one. I hope you won't feel sad after listening to this story. So Jesus was put to death on a cross at a place called Golgotha, which was outside Jerusalem. After Jesus died on the cross, one of his secret followers, Joseph, asked for permission from Pilate, the Roman governor, to bury Jesus' body. Joseph was a rich man who had come from Arimathea. So Joseph and his friend Nicodemus took Jesus' body to be buried. Nicodemus was another secret disciple of Jesus, like his friend Joseph. They wrapped Jesus in a clean cloth and took him to a newly built tomb, which was not very far away from Golgotha. Nicodemus had brought a special mixture of myrrh and aloe. They spread the mixture all over the body of Jesus and wrapped him in a clean linen according to Jewish customs. After everything was done, Joseph and Nicodemus closed the tomb with a huge boulder. Many people were waiting outside. Mary Magdalene was one of them. The Jewish leaders knew that Jesus had made a promise that he would rise from death after 3 days. So they all went to Pilate and requested him to seal the tomb and guard it with soldiers all day and all night to make sure that none of Jesus' disciples could try to steal his body. Pilate agreed. The priests sealed the tomb and it remained under the watchful eyes of the guards.
I knew Jesus couldn't die. If he promised that he would rise from death, then I am sure he will.
We will wait and see, Freckles.
The Holy Tales.
Just listen carefully.
You always do.
Good. There were 7 helpers chosen for giving food to the poor and spread the word of Jesus. One of them was Philip. He left Jerusalem and went to towns and villages of Samaria to tell the people about Jesus. He worked many miracles too. One day, the Holy Spirit told Philip to take the desert road from Jerusalem to Gaza. Philip did so. And after a while, he met a richly dressed Ethiopian official from the court of the Queen of Egypt. He used to keep a check on all her money and was returning home from a pilgrimage. As he came near, Philip heard the Ethiopian reading aloud from a scroll of the prophet Isaiah. Philip asked him.
Do you understand what you're reading?
The Ethiopian replied,
I cannot.
and asked Philip to sit in the chariot with him. Starting with the passage from Isaiah, Philip explained about Jesus to the Ethiopian. They came to a place along the road where there was a pool of water. Stopping there, the Ethiopian asked Philip to baptize him. Philip baptized him and disappeared. The Ethiopian continued on his journey back home. He was alone but full of joy. So, did you like the story?
I did, but what is an Ethiopian?
Ethiopia is a country in Africa, and people who come from there are called Ethiopians. Okay? Now for my question. Who did the Ethiopian work for?
I know. The Queen. The Queen of Egypt, Gumbo.
Well done, both of you. Now go along and have fun, you three. I will meet you soon.
Bye, Holly. Thank you for telling us the story.
Father Abraham had many sons. Many sons had.
The Holy Tale.
To watch more videos, please subscribe.
Plants and trees. On the fourth day, God created the sun to shine in the day, the moon and stars to come out at night. One day, Moses went to Mount Horeb with his sheep. There, God appeared to him as a flame of fire in a bush. Since there was no room anywhere else, they decided to spend the night in a stable. Here, Mary had her baby, Jesus. She wrapped him in a blanket and put him to sleep.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got